Okay, good morning. Welcome to the Social Service Grants July 14th meeting. It's 10 o'clock meeting. We'll call this meeting to order. And if I can get my colleagues to introduce themselves, I'm Councilwoman Sylvia Ortiz. I'm the chair, and I represent District 3.
Erin Hiller, District 1.
Okay, and is Brett on today? He'll probably join us soon, so we'll continue on. Review and approve the scoring and funding recommendations. I think we want to have a Brett, do you want to say something before we do anything?
Yes, thank you, Chair. Per our conversation in the last meeting, we prepared 3 options and sent those to Liz to distribute to committee members related to possible score opportunities and options. Then we had the email conversation later in the week related to the additional dollars. And so I sent out an option 4. And so I sent that to folks to be able to take a look at. If in fact there are additional dollars available, and I understand that that's correct, I was only, and my team, we were only able to come up with one scenario, option 4, that still remain true to the process that we laid out in the original RFP. And so we added those dollars to the 434,904 and then used the formula all the way through so that then the funding options would be programs 1 through 21, with 21 again not receiving the full percentage of their request because those were the dollars that were left over.
Okay, I appreciate that. Because we did say we would ask to see if there was any more funding, and luckily we found a little bit more. Did you get that email, Councilwoman Hiller?
I did. Thank you.
Okay. So with that being said, we appreciate it, and when I seen that amount, I thought the appropriate thing at that particular time to do was to send it back to the committee since you guys had all the formulas and stuff like that. So I thought that was the most fairest thing to do. I hope my colleagues agree with me, but that's kind of what I asked them to do. Yes, go ahead, Karen.
I just wanted to check overall. I had sent some comments for this meeting to Liz, thinking that she would get them shared with you and the committee. Maybe she's not even here today. Did you get anything from her about comments on the meeting?
Let's see. Bear with me. We had a week of camp and my body's feeling it. I'm not that 20-year-old anymore. And trying
it would have come this morning. I think.
I'm not seeing it. I apologize. Right. But go
That's
ahead.
All right. Well, I just wanted to make sure, as I had sent, just so you had it in advance, a comment on this. We need to talk through how much we would want to, if anything, that this committee would want to recommend. It struck me that because the staff suggestion is that the money could come from 2023 funds instead of 2024 funds, that if we choose to recommend any, if it was 2024 funds, if we were asking the council to increase the budget from 2024, we wouldn't know for a while because it's going to be till September, let's say, that we finish the budget. But if we included in our recommendation that we were recommending using 2023 money, then it could, when the council gets our recommendation, if they adopt it, then that money would be certain for the agencies. Does it make sense?
Okay. So I think what I'm hearing you say is, do we keep it in 2023 or flip it over to 2024?
No, the issue is what we might have done if there wasn't money, if the staff had not come up with this recommendation, is if we decided that we wanted to recommend that the council provide additional funds over and above the 434,000, likely we would have recommended that they add it in to the 2024 budget, which would take some time. You know,
Right.
the agencies that were hanging, they'd have to wait till the budget was done to be sure that that happened. But if in fact we were thinking about, we're considering doing something and we can use 2023 money, the council can obligate 2023 money, you know, when they get this recommendation, and then it would be firm.
Okay, I think I'm following you, but overall, we wanted to see, and we will talk to Adam about that in the finance. We wanted to see about the amount being higher. And so today, I just want to know, Adam, can you explain, the money that you found?
Yes.
Or if you're not the right person, then direct me to that person, please.
Yeah, I can explain that. Can everyone hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
Great. So that $45,000 would be available for 2023. That $45,000 specifically comes from cost savings in the general fund, just from personnel savings from vacant positions. So that money is secured and available for 2023. In preparing the 2024 budget, I was asked early on to look and see if there was opportunity to increase the general fund contribution for this committee. And so currently I did increase that by $57,000 for 2024. So the total general fund contribution for the grants would be $425,000 instead of the about $370,000. So again, that's $425,000 from the general fund. So that doesn't include the other federal monies. And that's a $57,000 increase from what it has been. That is in the current proposed budget, which you actually will get to see today, promise. So we're in the process of printing right now, and you'll receive the PDF shortly as well. So yes, that is, money is available now in 23. That increases in 24 for the council to discuss.
Okay.
Oh,
Do you have any questions, Karen? I'm
no,
happy.
I didn't know
happy with
that.
Yeah, and that was my understanding, but I wanted to make sure I'm happy with that. So when we found out that the 45 for 2023 was available, what I had instructed Liz to do was to send that to Brett, since they were the team that put all this together, and say, hey, we've got $45,000. Where you know, can you tell us where we could best utilize that at? To be fair with the process. And so he did, and I think that's option 4. Is that correct, Brett?
Yes, Chair, that's correct.
Okay. So that's kind of where we stand today. As far as I'm concerned, I think, Brett, if you want to kind of give us an overview on option 1, 2, and 3, that's without the money. Am I correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And then 4 is with the money.
That is correct, yes.
Okay. So that's basically the difference, is the 45,000 amount, right?
Correct, yes. So options 1, 2, and 3 were based on the original amount, 434,904.
Mhm.
And when I put together option 4, I just added 434,904 to the 45,000 to get us to 479,904, and then just reran the calculations all the way through.
Gotcha. Okay. So I'm pleased with that. Karen, are you pleased with that, or do you have any questions?
Well, I'm surprised. I mean, wow. I guess we need to be thinking as a committee forward a little bit in terms of how that 57,000, which I didn't know about. You know, I was thinking if we wanted more money, because the committee had only recommended the 434 total, that's what was going to show up in the proposed 2024 budget. I guess
Well, we had to do a quick turnaround because we want to stay on track still. And
I
we've got
understand.
this money, so that's why we've got to do a quick turnaround.
I understand.
Okay.
And so it sounds like we have two choices for, that the framework is there for the money to come out of the 2024 budget, which I didn't know. But it looks like then the options that we have are, of course, do nothing, but we need $24,963 to cover what we did last time and make it even, not cut off the two agencies that were already in the list. So we need $24,963 for that minimum. And then what we had talked about further was if we wanted to take those two that qualified but didn't get full funding, it would take us $39,774 to fully fund all the agencies that had made the cut and were approved. So that's all we need to do. $39,774 is all we need to do what we talked about doing last week. So if we want to recommend any more than that, we would be adding funding for additional agencies, is what I see. And so, kind of starting from where we were,
My direction to Brett was to take the 45 and apply that overall. Was that correct, Brett? Is that what you did?
Yes, Chair, that's correct. I just took the 45 and added it to the 434,904.
Understand, but we can recommend whatever
And
we want, I guess.
And that's what he did on option 4. That's what he did. He took
Correct.
the 45 with that
Mhm.
formula that he was previously using and did it across the board. Because I don't want somebody to come and say, well, that's not fair or blah, blah, blah. That's what I thought was fair. Instead of us sitting here trying to figure out, well, let's give this and let's give that and let's give this. He's already got the calculations. They've already followed the rules. I gave him the money and said, here's more money. Figure it out. That's what he did. That's what option 4 is. Does that make sense?
Understood, but the deal is, I'm guessing, is that they were letting us know that they thought they could fully fund the high number of what we talked about on Monday. And so if we want to just go with what we were talking about on Monday, we can recommend that. Or we can go over it if we want. I get that. But that's, I don't know, maybe a question to Adam. There's been all sorts of proposals for what could be done with year-end money. It's made some of us a little bit nervous just because we haven't seen how that would all add up. But there are folks who are wanting to make sure we're covered. But, I'm the one who asked about whether we could increase this number for 2024. So maybe partly our decision could be what we've got in mind, because if we want to set a bar for what then would be the reference number for 2025 later.
Yeah. Well, and in
yeah.
doing that, and having that conversation at the meeting, that's when I went back and asked, is there any more funding for this year? Okay, and that's where Adam came up with the 45. So that's where that happened. Brett, I see you joined us. Were you aware that we found an extra $45,000? Okay, I see him on, but he's not unmuted.
Can you repeat yourself there, Councilwoman?
I'm sorry. At our last meeting, we said we were going to go in and ask Adam and staff if there was any more money, and they found us $45,000. So at that particular time, what I did, because it was time sensitive, I asked Liz to send it to Brett to give us the formula of overall to add that in, and he's done so, so he's given us option 4. Did you?
That sounds good to me.
Okay, okay. So at this time, I'm gonna make do we have a motion to adopt option 4?
I move to adopt option 4 and move forward with that.
Have a second? I'll second it. And then I do want to say, for the sake of discussion, on Pabst Landing, we had a question, the amount awarded in 2023, that 22,153, and that was the amount that they requested. Am I correct, Brett? That's what my notes say.
Yes,
Okay,
that's
so
correct.
that was an error there. That was a note. Okay,
Okay.
so is there any more discussion on option 4?
Yes, I have a question then.
Sure.
If we are voting on option 4 with the idea that we would use 2023 money,
Plus
for it.
the 45, which would be a total of 479,904.
the 45 is the 2023 money. If we are basing our vote on that and we want to then recommend to the council that we use 2023 money for that additional, what would our position be about the staff's now that we know about it, the staff's proposal to increase that budget by $57,000
Well, let's vote on that separately. I say let's vote on that separately after we vote on this first set of money, okay? Because it's still got to go back to the council, and we still got to get their vote. And we can let them know at that particular time we've asked for an increase, because this hasn't been increased. Adam, I did ask you, when was the last time this amount was increased, the total amount?
Yeah, and I think that it was 2020 when that was adjusted.
Okay.
If I may,
Yes.
in 2020 was when we added 45,000 a year to pay for United Way to manage the process, and that's just anecdotal. It doesn't have to affect this decision. One of the things that the 45,000 does, that I just wanted to remind the committee, is that our operating documents say that we would generally not make a grant less than $10,000, that's the goal, based on the responsibilities of an agency to manage that grant, as well as the city to manage that grant. So with using $45,000, that's only $5,000, substantially less than the agency asked for. I'm sure they would use it. But again, if we stuck with the even full grants, we could go with the 39,774 and match the grants that we were looking at last time. I just want to throw out that consideration of the not making grants under 10,000.
Brett, do you want to
So it's on
respond
the
to
table.
that? Do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, thank you. So the discussion we had related to that was we wanted to have requests no fewer than 10,000, because we wanted to ensure that it was enough money for the programs, but also wasn't undue burden on either us as the vendor or City of Topeka with an amount that was less than 10,000. So that was the request. That said, we have granted fewer than 10,000 in the past because of what was remaining at the end of the piece.
Okay.
So
Just want to make sure, that was on the table. So.
Sure.
Okay. Okay, is there any more discussion or questions? Brett, do you have anything else to add before we vote? No? Adam? Do you have anything else? You got your checkbook ready?
Yep.
You got a pen? Okay, if not, we're gonna take a
Would-
vote on.
would- Chair, since city
sorry?
manager is on.
Oh, I apologize. Well, I thought that was somebody in Hawaii. You know, I gotta get some new glasses. See, that nice shirt he's got looks like he's.
Well, thank you. I
Hey,
like to pretend I'm in Hawaii, but Councilwoman, I'm just observing and I don't
Okay.
have anything I can add to your discussion.
You could add more money if you.
I'm adding more. Okay, hey, Adam, can you find it?
See what I can do.
Now, the last time we did that, which was not too long ago, he found it. So,
Yeah.
okay. Thank you for being on, City Manager. I know you have a busy schedule. We appreciate you listening to us.
Thank you.
Okay, with that, let's vote on this. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Okay.
Okay, it's 3-0. Okay. So, Brett, you'll be able to move forward with mailing the agencies and that's what, right?
Correct. So what we'll do today is we will send out an additional correspondence to the agencies related to this decision, and we will change the text of that slightly to indicate that all of this is contingent upon approval by the council, but that we've already moved through appeals and that we do have full approval from the Social Services Grants Committee.
Okay, thank you. I want to say to all the agencies that are watching, we thank you for everything that you do. I think this committee is committed to finding as much money available as possible that we can give you. You see, we've asked Adam for a second week. The city managers asked him to look for more money. The committee has, and so we are committed to that, and we appreciate all that you do in our community. So I just want to say thank you personally. Is there, let's see, is there anything else?
Well, I think we do need to decide where we need to communicate to the council whether we want either or both of these recommendations now that we have an offer of 2023 money, but also have learned that there is, the budget is going to include extra money as well.
I'm going to make a motion that we approve the increase of 57,000 for 2024 in our budget. Or would it be 2025, Adam?
2024.
2024? Okay.
Right.
So as a committee, if we can approve that and go ahead and get that over with, it'll be on our minutes. I'll make that motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Okay, so we have that, and that'll be in our minutes, and that way we can take that when we take that back to them. Yes.
But I think we have to also do a motion on the 45,000.
Okay.
That we want to have council approval to
Yeah,
use
you're right.
45,000 of 2023 money for these increases we just voted.
Right. You're right. We probably should have done that first, but it's never. Can I get a motion?
Move to recommend to the council that the 45,000 in increases be financed out of 2023 general fund.
I'll second it. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
It's 3-0. Okay, great. Thank you, Karen, for reminding me that we just took the money and ran with it. You see how excited we are.
Just want to make sure we
Okay.
had it all moving
Yeah.
forward.
Okay, is there anything else to come before this committee?
Yes. We have the minutes that you, I think, skipped because Councilman Kell wasn't on.
Oh,
And
yeah.
the other thing that I had in my memo that I had hoped would get to you was our calendar provides that we have an option to do a study session in September or October prior to starting our deliberations for the recommendations for the future year. And it's looking to me like we won't have a meeting before September, October, so we need to decide today whether we want to do a special study session, and if so, on what, with some consultation from United Way as to what they think we could use one on, if anything, so that we've got that decided.
Okay.
And I do have an amendment for the minutes.
Okay, let's start with the minutes. Go ahead, Karen.
I will email this for Liz. I thought that the wording was a little convoluted about what we just discussed, actually. So on page 7, where the text talks about the change in the total of social service grant money available, it says, Councilmember Hiller noted the total amount of dollars requested for the SSG program is not changed in some time. She had spoken about this to City Manager Wade, and he had said no. I'm paraphrasing a little bit. And then it says, I requested that we increase the amount of money, and so on. And then the reference is made that we could ask to have money to add back in, so we didn't cut 3 agencies that were going to be cut. My suggested corrected language would say she had asked City Manager Stephen Wade in last year's SSG allocation money meeting if there would be a possibility to do some sort of increase, and his answer had been a no. She stated the committee could recommend increasing the amount of funding during the governing body's process for the next year. For the 2024 grants, it erroneously said 2025. Councilwoman Ortiz inquired how much increase Councilwoman Hiller was interested in requesting. Councilwoman Hiller stated a cut of roughly $25,000 had been made. The committee could ask to add that back so that we did not have to cut the agencies that would now be cut, and so on. The rest of the language is fine. But if those changes, again, I can email them in, but I can move to approve the minutes with those corrections for accuracy.
Okay, it's been moved to approve the minutes as amended. Is there a second? I don't know what's happening with Brett. He's all over my screen, though. I'll second him. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
I think we might have lost him. I'm not sure. Okay. Well, anyway, that's 2-0. Okay. Brett, did you hear the minutes as approved as
Yeah.
amended? Did
Yes.
Did you approve them?
Yes.
Okay, so it's 3-0. I'm sorry. I don't know if
Yes.
you cut out or you skipped all over my screen there.
Yeah, it cut off for a second, but I heard everything.
Okay, thank you.
welcome.
Next thing is, do we need any, a special meeting? Where's Brett Martin? Do you guys feel that you need to have a special meeting with us, or?
Yeah, so in terms of the September meeting, what we've often done is taken a look at process or taken a look at some data that has come forward or that we have collected and shared that with the committee. This year in our review, we don't have any new data to be able to share at this time or any major recommendations for the process. We do have a couple of recommendations related to scoring and those types of things, but that's usually done at a later meeting. That's not part of the larger study. So we don't have anything in terms of content for an additional study or conversation in September.
Okay, Karen, is there something that you are requesting? Are you wanting? Or
I
you
did
just-
not have
or are
anything
you
this
just
year.
checking?
I'm just checking.
Okay.
We've had some issues. We've done it the last 2 years, but I don't have anything for this year.
Okay, Brett, would you like to see anything? Are you good?
No, just as long as United Way, because I know they mentioned in the last meeting that they kind of want to go over a few things, but if they're good till September, then I'm good that way also.
So we do need to have a September meeting, Brett?
Well, I
Martin?
mean,
So
Or do you want to intertwine it with one of our other meetings?
yeah, we can absolutely intertwine it with another meeting. Yeah, we don't have to have a special meeting for this.
Okay. Okay, then there'll be no special meeting then, Karen, if that's okay.
That's fine. I personally, now that we made that decision, if we need to schedule, default schedule 3 meetings for process in the fall, I sure wouldn't mind having Liz get those set up pretty soon, so we all know.
Absolutely. I agree. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, is there anything else to come before this meeting? Is there anything else anybody would like to add? City manager, you want to close us out?
Well,
That's kind of like church and prayer, isn't it? We need a lot of prayer.
listen, I have a whole closet of shirts like this. I should start wearing them. But hey, thanks for letting me be a guest, and you're doing good work here. I took a look at what you fund, and it's important to the community, and it's especially important to citizens that are not able to have this conversation with us. So thank you for the good work you're doing.
You know, I just want to say one thing. Everybody has a different definition, and I know you have said you're going to be short term. My short term is kind of long, so just remember that when you say that. I just want to be around short term. Short term could be 6 or 7 years. I don't know. My definition is probably different than yours, but I think we can agree to disagree.
I hear you, Councilwoman, and I'll do whatever I can to accommodate you within my wife's wishes.
You know what? I'll come down and wine and dine her. We'll do that.
She's listening to this conversation now.
Well, tell her we said hello from Topeka. Okay. Is there anything else to come before this committee? If not, we are adjourned. Have a good weekend.
Too.
You too.